Matchmaking in the world of MMA is akin to a delicate art form. It's the concoction of bringing together two fighters, ideally with equal skills and capabilities, to engage in an intense battle inside the octagon. However, sometimes this balance gets awry, leading to matchups that are mismatched as chalk and cheese. Let's delve into the top 10 UFC matchmaking blunders that left audiences bewildered and fighters reeling. Number 1. Cain Velasquez vs. Francis Ngannou. The collision between Cain Velasquez and Francis Ngannou served as a high-stakes spectacle, emblematic of the intense drama and anticipation synonymous with UFC heavyweight division. Velasquez, renowned for his impeccable wrestling prowess and adorned with his laurels of former champion, embarked on a comeback after a prolonged stint battling injuries. However, the revelation of his opponent, Francis Ngannou, heralded as a titan with unparalleled punching power, sparked widespread astonishment. The pairing appeared less like a strategic matchup and more like a test for Velasquez. The imbalance between Velasquez's wrestling finesse and Ngannou's raw, devastating striking prowess left many questioning the wisdom behind the match's composition. Sadly, the much-anticipated bout unfolded in a disheartening manner, lasting a mere fraction of an anticipated time. Ngannou unleashing of an unadulterated power swiftly brought about an early conclusion to Velasquez's UFC journey, marking an unexpected and unfortunate end due to a knee injury, and cast a pall over the fairness of this contest. Number 2. BJ Penn vs. Jair Rodriguez. The matchup between BJ Penn, an esteemed luminary in the annals of MMA history, and the emerging force of Jair Rodriguez epitomized the clash between a seasoned legend and a burgeoning talent. Penn, revered for his illustrious career and past glories, entered the octagon against Rodriguez with a presumed intent of bestowing credibility upon the ascendant star. Yet from the outset, the fight seemed marred by disparities. Rodriguez's dominance was evident as he maneuvered around the cage with apparent ease, toying with Penn, who struggled to contend with his youthful exuberance and superior skills. The culmination of the encounter witnessed Rodriguez sealing his superiority with a brutal TKO finish. The mismatched nature of the fight raised poignant questions within the MMA community, spotlighting the ethical considerations of pitting an aging icon against an up-and-coming prospect in a contest so overwhelmingly skewed in favor of one fighter. Number 3. Sean O'Malley vs. Chris Motino. The bout between Sean O'Malley and Chris Motino underscored the unpredictability that arises from the circumstances surrounding UFC matchups. O'Malley, a prominent UFC bantamweight fighter, found himself without an opponent on short notice. In an unusual turn of events, the UFC matchmaking swiftly brought forth Chris Motino, a regional-level fighter, to fill the void. What unfolded next was a historic moment in the octagon. Albeit for starkly contrasting reasons, O'Malley showcased his striking prowess, using Motino as a canvas for his relentless onslaught of strikes. Despite the one-sided nature of the bout, Motino's unyielding resilience kept him in the fight, absorbing a barrage of blows until the referee intervened, concluding the spectacle and left lingering questions about the fairness of such lopsided pairing in the UFC. Number 4. Petr Yan vs. Urijah Faber. The clash between Petr Yan and Urijah Faber epitomized the timeless narrative of old guard versus emerging talent in the realm of mixed martial arts. Faber, a revered figure celebrated for his past achievements, made a comeback for retirement, seeking to reignite his legacy in a bantamweight division. However, fate led him to face Petr Yan, a rising force heralded for his dominance in the weight class. From the onset, the mismatch in skills and timing became evident as Yan, with a formidable capabilities, outclassed Faber in almost every aspect of the fight. The culmination arrived swiftly and brutally, with Yan delivering a devastating head kick that reverberated across the octagon, sending Faber reeling and sealing his swift return to retirement. The matchup, while an embodiment of the sport's evolution, highlighted the stark discrepancies in skill and demonstrated the potential pitfalls of matching veteran fighters against the emerging elite in the UFC. Number 5. Johnny Hendricks vs. Paulo Costa. The clash between Johnny Hendricks and Paulo Costa exemplified the stark realities that often unfold in the realm of mixed martial arts. Hendricks, once a formidable welterweight champion and a renowned name in the UFC, found himself confronting the emerging might of Paulo Costa in the middleweight division. However, what transpired inside the octagon mirrored a narrative of contrasting trajectories. Hendricks, once a force to be reckoned with, appeared as a mere semblance of his former self. In stark contrast, Costa, known for his ferocious power, punching, and destructive kicks, demonstrated an intimidating display of his burgeoning skills. The fight, which promised an intense showdown, ultimately served as an exhibition of Costa's burgeoning dominance and Hendrick's evident decline from his prime, shedding light on the harsh realities of fighters past their peak facing the rising tide of new talents in the UFC. Number 6. Fedor Emelianenko vs. Ryan Bader. Retirement fights often symbolize a fighter's graceful exit from the sport, a chance to etch a fond farewell to a storied career. Unfortunately, the rematch between Fedor and Ryan Bader painted a different picture. Fedor, a legendary figure in the MMA world, sought to carve a memorable swan song in his second encounter with Bader. However, fate had other plans. Rather than scripting a triumphant ending to his illustrious journey, Fedor faced a parallel outcome, a knockout loss to Bader. The fight's conclusion not only marked Fedor's defeat, but also marred the final chapter of his celebrated career. The match's aftermath left a sense of disappointment, tarnishing the legacy of a fighter hailed as one of the sport's all-time greats. The bittersweet conclusion served as a sobering reminder of the unpredictability inherent in retirement fights and their potential to cast shadows on once glorious careers. Number 7. Jon Jones vs. Chael Sonnen. The collision between Jon Jones and Chael Sonnen epitomized the blend of entertainment and competitive sport within the realm of mixed martial arts. Jones, a dominant force in the light heavyweight division, found himself pitted against Sonnen in a fight that appeared more tailored for spectacle than an evenly matched showdown. Despite the apparent mismatch in skills and experience, Sonnen's unrelenting spirit initially posed a surprising challenge. However, Jones swiftly asserted his dominance, showcasing his technical prowess and superior fighting acumen. Yet, an unforeseen twist occurred when Jones nearly succumbed to an injury that could have swung the tide in Sonnen's favor. Ultimately, the fight highlighted not only Jones' mastery but also the vast chasm in skill between the two fighters, ultimately reaffirming Jones' supremacy in the division. Number 8. Conor McGregor vs. Donald Cerrone. Tune-up fights serve as a means to ease fighters back into the rigors of competition, providing an opportunity to regain momentum. Conor McGregor's clash against Donald Cerrone, however, seemed more akin to a swift assertion of dominance rather than a gradual reintegration into the sport. McGregor, a magnetic figure in MMA, orchestrated a dazzling display inside the Octagon, dismantling Cerrone with a remarkable speed and precision. The fight, touted as a tune-up, turned into a rapid and empathetic victory for McGregor, leaving audiences captivated by his showmanship, but concurrently questioning the necessity of such an evidently lopsided matchup. While McGregor's triumphant return garnered admiration for his skill, it also raised inquiries regarding the essence and purpose of tune-up fights in MMA, particularly when competitive balance appears significantly skewed. Number 9. Alexander Volkanovski vs. Chan Sung Jung. The clash between Alexander Volkanovski and Chan Sung Jung, widely known as the Korean Zombie, underscored the precarious nature of UFC title shots and the significance of matchups in defining a fighter's journey. Jung, revered for his resilience and tenacity in the Octagon, found himself thrust into the title bout against Volkanovski, the reigning champion. However, the matchup seemed more lopsided than competitive, as Volkanovski swiftly asserted his dominance, showcasing superior skills across varied facets of mixed martial arts. Despite Jung's storied career and unwavering determination, the fight unfolded as a one-sided affair, with Volkanovski dictating the pace and leaving Jung struggling to mount a substantial challenge. The bout's outcome highlighted not only Volkanovski's prowess, but also raised questions about the rationale behind setting up such evidently imbalanced matchups, potentially undermining a fighter's legacy and competitive spirit. Number 10. Chuck Liddell vs. Tito Ortiz 3. Retirement often symbolizes a graceful departure from the competitive arena, but for Chuck Liddell, his return for a third showdown against Tito Ortiz cast a stark contrast to this narrative. Liddell, at 48 years old, stepped back into the Octagon against significantly younger Ortiz, paving the way for an ill-fated encounter. The bout, intended to reignite an age-old rivalry, culminated in a swift and agonizing finish, underscoring the inherent mismatch in the fighters' physical conditions and skill level. The stark contrast in their respective stages of life and athletic abilities left a poignant mark in MMA history, serving as a cautionary tale about the perils of returning to competition past one's prime. The aftermath of the fight left a bitter aftertaste, prompting reflections on the wisdom of permitting such matchups that risk tarnishing the legacies of revered fighters and overshadowing their past achievements. Matchmaking in the UFC is a tricky affair. While the goal is to create compelling fights, mismatch can lead to lackluster performances, early endings, and even irreversible damage to a fighter's legacy. The aforementioned cases serve as a cautionary tale, highlighting the importance of balanced and fair matchmaking to ensure competitive and engaging fights for fans worldwide. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.